will execute this session with a measure of precision so that we can get going to the next level. Right Honorable Prime Minister Mzee Raila Odinga, the chairperson of the Council of Governors, and all of you governors who are here today, my cabinet colleagues, all of whom have been introduced, and my colleagues across the spectrum of national government responsibility who are here, the principal secretaries, directors who are with us here today, Mr. Speaker, and the members of the Senate, honorable members of Parliament, members of the county assemblies, distinguished delegates, including our development partners, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, you had invited us to participate in a panel on the impact of climate change on global peace and stability. We have submitted to the conference secretariat a very lengthy presentation and a paper on how we are approaching from the security point of view the challenges we face related to climate change. I would like to take this opportunity to request you, Mr. Chairman, to afford us an opportunity to engage in a much more detailed manner with the Committee of the Council of Governors that addresses security, because this matter is even calling upon us to redesign our national security strategy, because truth be told, as my colleagues who are from that sector who are in this audience know, some of the things we are having to deal with or some of the things we are facing are things we were not prepared to deal with 10 years ago. So even when our national security was designed, national security strategy was designed, there are a number of things that no one anticipated that we are having to deal with now. That calls upon us not just to relook at the strategy, but to see how better we can build stronger intergovernmental collaborations to address the challenges we face today and those that we are likely to face tomorrow. The question you asked us basically to answer was, how does it affect us from a security point of view? And in 2 minutes, Mr. Chairman, first, the destruction that we are facing as a result of climate change challenges. No one knew that at this point in time we would spend between 25 and 30% of our operational budget on climate change related security issues. What we are experiencing in Laikipia, what we are experiencing in Baringo, what is going on in most of North Rift today, the movement, the theft of livestock, the pasture and water resource conflicts in that region are all related to climate change. The challenges we face on our borders towards the north and the northern eastern with our colleagues across the border are all related to climate change. And as we go forward, obviously, we're going to have to relook at how we will increase our budgets to deal with this. 2, the greater impact is even in resource and institutional strain. If you look at the number of personnel we are deploying to this conflict, it is affecting and distracting us from the core challenges we face in the security sector. The question you ask every morning is, are you going to deploy to chase Al-Shabaab, or you are going to deploy to chase cat rustlers and livestock problems in Laikipia and other places of the country? So I know it will affect also county governments in terms of how they look at resources, which means it calls upon a new framework and a new approach of budgeting and allocating resources for security, especially to address climate change-related challenges. We have outlined at length a new strategy and a new approach on how we are going to have to deal with this. We are going to build capacity and train better so that we are prepared for this. We are going to develop new structures for conflict resolution. I was speaking with Governor Derito Mureithi in Laikipia and saying counties that are affected by this will have to start new frameworks of superintending over resource sharing agreements so that we can avert conflicts, which means we have to redesign conflict resolution mechanisms as we go along. 3, we are going to have to relook at intergovernmental alignment between us and county governments. For a long time, I must confess here that we have had challenges to support, for example, the county security committees and the county government's pressure on us to allow them to come up with their new security infrastructures. I think now we can't avoid that, and we can't hide from that responsibility anymore. We have to support county governments to come up with security arrangements to deal with some of these conflicts, because national government in and on itself cannot manage these challenges as it were. Fourthly, we have got to deal with resource alignments. We have to put our money where our mouth is. We are Your Excellency, there are so many senior civil servants who are here from this part of our country whom you have given responsibilities, for which I thank you. And my colleagues and the leaders who have spoken before me have thanked you very much. But I just want to say two things in 2 minutes. One, for the first time, let me say this publicly. Your Excellency, I thank you for the trust you have bestowed, for the faith you had in me and us, and for the incredible trust that you had, particularly in me. The experience I've had working with you has been extremely humbling. It hasn't just been work. If we had more time, I would talk a lot about it. You took me as your younger brother. We have spent a lot of time together working with you. And I can give a day-long testimony to a lot of things that I've come to know because of the way in which you work and who you are as a person. Mimi tu leo mbele ya hao watu, because this is home. Your Excellency, is to say thank you. Asante sana. I may not have been the most deserving. I wasn't in any way special, but you trusted me and gave me a job. And it has been an experience of my life. And on this, I speak on behalf of many of our senior civil servants who have worked for you. I have had a front row seat in your administration and witnessed firsthand. And as I tell our people, even in our meetings, I know and I can speak to it accurately. You actually love our people and you have a soft spot for our people. And as you always tell me, stories you have shared with me about how your own dad used to tell you about the people of Kisii and how we should spend a strong relationship together and build a bond among ourselves, it is true. Because I've worked with you, I have known how you behave when you are making appointments and what you think about our people.
Yale ambaye nimeweza kuyatimiza kwa uongozi wangu, singeweza kutimiza kama singekuwa na ile team nimekuwa naye. Na moja ambaye amekuwa bulldozer wangu, shujaa wangu, ni huyu amekaa, anaitwa Bwana Fred Matiangi, ambaye amenisukumia kazi